So the restaurant analogy coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Common Sense, Logic, and Reason. And as always, I want to say thank y'all for joining me again. So the restaurant analogy, as you know, I love to use analogies and speak in analogies, well, for the same reason that Jesus did, so that people can have better understanding of the point that I'm trying to make. But we know that the left, they love their ideologies, they love their viewpoints. And one of those viewpoints that they love, or they just so in love with, is minimum wage. They'll talk about people need a living wage, right? Of course, they never tell you exactly what a living wage is. But they never really tell you the history of minimum wage. Anyway, that minimum wage was actually first used in the days of slavery, and it was actually used to prevent slaves from rendering their services and undercutting white people. And that was the original use of the original first instance of minimum wage in America, was basically, like I say, to prevent slaves from undercutting and underbidding white people, because people were going with slaves. If slaves can provide goods and services better, just as good, or not better than what white people can at a lower price, what you think people are going to go with? So I just go to show you that economics rules all. But anyway, so the restaurant analogy, right? Now, we know that there are several different types of restaurants because of thanks to the free market. You have, high-end, three-star, four-star expensive restaurants, right? We have lower tier restaurants, say something like a Chili's or Applebee's, something like that. Here we have delis. You can go to a nice deli. You can go get fast food. You have several choices. You have several different types and classes of restaurants offering different types and levels of services for different prices, right? Now, let's say that someone comes in and enact the minimum food law, like minimum wage law, well, minimum food law. They say that all food, it doesn't matter what you buy, what meal you buy, has to cost a minimum of $15. Same thing as minimum wage. They tell you that minimum wage should be minimum $15. Right? So what is that going to do to the restaurant industry? Well, it's going to be some mass upheaval. Right? Now, would people go eat fast food? No, because why would I go pay $15 for a extra value meal, a Big Mac meal at McDonald's, if I could pay $15 for a meal at Applebee's, right? So who's going to go to eat fast food? That means that fast food are going to either go out of business, or they're going to have to have some drastic changes. They're going to have to give you a level of quality of service that's worth $15. If you're giving people a service that they deem to be not up to $15, they're not going to buy it, right? So gone are the days when you can affordably feed your whole entire family at Burger King or McDonald's or Taco Bell, right, or Rally's or Sonic. Gone are those days, because now you have to pay a minimum of $15. If I'm going to pay a $15 for a meal, then I want to get a meal that's worth $15. So therefore, at that point, fast food is going to have to start offering a level of quality of food that's on par with $15, or they're just going to go out of business. Well, now let's transfer this to the quote-unquote minimum wage. Now let's say that you have somebody who's a deli, who owns a hamburger shop, and they employ people and they pay them $10 an hour because they value the job, the service, that the output from the employees, that's $10 an hour, and they pay them $10 an hour. But what happens if you go in and tell them that they have to start paying $15 an hour for services? Well, what are these people going to do? Well, they're going to demand more from their employees. They're going to demand higher skilled employees. Well, why am I going to pay $15 for an employee who's putting in 10 hours worth of what I believe, contributing $10 an hour worth of work to our business? Well, I'm not. I'm going to demand higher skilled. I'm going to demand more employees to be better skilled, to be able to do more things, to know more things. That's just only logical. Same thing with the fast food restaurant. So then what happens is that the people who are inexperienced, who have no experience, high schoolers just graduating, looking for some job experience, well, they're not going to have any opportunity because no one's going to hire a young person who have no experience and pay them $15 an hour. They can't come in and say, okay, well, since I have no experience, I'll work for $7 an hour, for $8 an hour. You can't because of the minimum wage law. And this is a problem with the minimum wage and really the stupidity of all leftist policy, because it all hinges on nothing but blind rage emotion and very rarely of any logic and reason. So I mean, and this is the same thing that happened with in New York with AOC, right? Remember when she was a bar owner? I mean not a bar owner. She used to work at a bar, and now the bar has to close down because of minimum wage law. It's just stupid. And despite the evidence of the stupidity of minimum wage law, despite the evidence of the history of minimum wage law, the racist history of minimum wage law, which they're always crying about the racist history of America, but you support the racist minimum wage law. Again, these people are ignorant. They're almost as ignorant as niggas. For real. But anyway, anytime you ever hear, the whole minimum wage law and the whole notion of, well, we need a living wage, just think of the restaurant analogy. Anyway, y'all, and as always, until next time.